Hey, Flow Racing, this is Courtney Enders, and we are not right off track today. This is actually going to be something that we're going to be doing a little bit different. So, Right Off Track, sponsored by Castrol, comes on every other Friday, give or take whatever day that we make it happen. But in the meantime, we're going to get you guys a little bit more information on some of the stars of our sport, some of the drivers, some of the crew guys, some of the people who make this shit happen behind the scenes. And we've got our very, very first Feature Friday, driver feature. I'm not really sure what we're going to call this yet, but we're going to make it happen. We have got Division 4 zone, which is very close to my heart. We've got Darian Boesch here, and Darian Boesch is, you may not know him, you may know him, very well known in our neck of the woods, wins a lot, but if you don't know this face, I guarantee you know his car, and you may or may not have been put on the trailer by him a couple of times. So welcome to this, I don't know if I want to call it a show, Darian, but it's not really a show yet, but you and I are going to make this thing happen. So thank you so much for coming on.
Fair enough. I appreciate you guys for having me and love the opportunity always to get on and talk about something we all love doing.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, where you're from, what classes you race, and kind of how you got into drag racing.
So basically, I'm 23 years old, born and raised in South Louisiana, and I got into racing as per most people have, like their parents raced. My dad has raced for a long time, and basically the only thing I've done most of my life. And I ran juniors from 8 till I was 15-ish. And then literally on my 16th birthday, got my top dragster license and just kept on going. That's all I've done. And I mean, I wouldn't rather it any other way. It's all we do. It's all I think about. That's it. We work so we can pay to go racing.
That seems to be everybody I've had on any show that I do, or anybody that we write a story on that we talk to. It's like the same regurgitated answer, but it's not regurgitated. It's family. It's in our blood. And so when you were a kid and your dad was racing, what was it about it that kind of drew you to it?
So my thing has always been, and it might be kind of obvious, like we have all supercharged blower cars, right? Well, that's literally all I've ever been around. So my first core memory or whatever they call it is, I don't know, I was like 4 or 5 years old, and my dad had his 99 undercover in the shop, had the body panels were off of it. He had it running. It was like a fresh motor he just put in. And he told me to put my hand on the gas pedal and give it some gas while it's running. So like I had my hand on the pedal and I give it a few cracks and I was like, done. I'm ruined for life. And my thing was always, whenever I was getting into juniors, I always wanted to have a junior with the parachute and the wing. So that's what we got. And just, I mean, it's just what I've always done. It's like you are going to be how you were brought up for the most part, and that's how I was brought up. I was brought up around going to the track and watching dad, and it just clicked. I mean, I've never wanted to do anything else. Never was that great at anything else anyway. But
I find that very hard to believe, but we'll get into that.
I did do bowling though, but not the same.
Oh, see, now that's a fun fact I didn't know. I've just started to get to know you over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to have to handle that because I myself am a bowler. And during COVID, I was in a bowling league and we're not too shabby. I mean, I'm not great, but I'm not terrible. So we'll have to, maybe on a rain delay or something, we'll have to go test your skills and see how good of a bowler you really are.
Oh, I'll have to bring my bag with me. Got the balls, the shoes, and all.
Oh, okay. So we're going to need to prepare for this. We'll talk about this off the show. Right. But a little bit before, in between juniors and deciding that you wanted to do this for the most part full time for your whole life. I mean, I know you have a real job and we're going to talk about that here in a minute, but when you were going to school, first off, what did you go to school for?
So my major was in business administration, so I could learn more about like the business side, numbers and things like that for my dad's business. So that's what I went for, just so I could have something and just, I mean, that's all my plan was really.
So when you were in school, were you scheduling classes based on when you were going to go to races? Were your professors mad at you? How did you balance all of that?
So I had a little bit of everything. So basically what I've done for my entire life, not even just college, but basically I'll just give you like a big wide view. So part one is that I drag race. Part two is that I so it used to be a lot worse, but I have a speech impediment also. So part one of my thing to every teacher forever would be that I have problems talking. And then part two is, by the way, I drive race cars and I'm not going to be here much. And so like during college, when I got to make my own classes and all that stuff, like, I mean, typically, yeah. I mean, I'd pick like classes on like a Thursday morning and classes on like a Monday evening, even though, I mean, who am I lying to? We leave on Wednesday anyway, and we come back on like Monday or Tuesday. So, I mean, I still missed like a lot. But yeah, I mean, I had most of them actually were like super good about it. And I had a few that like were willing to like behead me over this deal. And but graduated with a 3.9 something whatever and sheer luck. But I graduated well and just got it all done.
That's pretty cool. I just told you before we started this that I never made it through that. I was missing school here and there for drag racing, and I just decided to hang it up and had an internship. So kudos to you for actually making it through and balancing it.
It was totally luck. But
tell us a little bit about some of your biggest accolades. I said at the beginning of this show that you probably put 90% of the people watching this on the trailer at some point or another, but tell us some of your proudest moments and accolades as a driver.
So my proudest moment so far is, so I mainly just run like NHRA, top dragster, and top sportsman. Well, I have so far won the Jegs All Stars. I've won a Division 4 division championship in top dragster, and I won the world in top sportsman also. And now with this double up in Baytown, that's another big thing that I was looking forward to that I could check off my list. And I mean, those are the big things. You know, I've won a couple track championships here and there. Of course, you know, national events and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, those are my big three: is Jegs All Stars, the division, and the world.
Yeah, there's nothing like running that number one on that beautiful purple car that you have.
Big goal, number one. Love it.
You've got a real life and you're balancing all of these races. Not only are you just doing something you love, you're doing well at it. But tell us a little bit about your real life and what you do from, well, I would say 9 to 5, but as I've gotten to know you, I know it's like 5 to 3. So tell us about what you do and how you balance that with racing.
So basically, so I work for my dad, and my dad owns a landscaping company in New Orleans, and that's what he's done for 30 plus years. And basically, like my job there is to say, I have my guys that dig the holes, and basically like I'll lay pipe in the holes, or I'll do we do like subsurface drainage, irrigation, new gardens, new lawns, lights, all that stuff. So like say if you have a new house, we can make it the nicest on the outside that how you can find. So basically like that is my job, is put the pipe in the ground. Like I do all the technical work and my guys do the digging the holes and everything. And we just blow through it and get as much done as we can at a time.
So your dad, he works with you and obviously you race with him. So you don't have to go too far in convincing the boss man to go racing, do you?
No, typically it's him who's like, I thought we were going to this race. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't know about it, but we can go. Like, I won't tell you no. But yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. It's just, I mean, it's what we both do. And thankfully I don't have to beg too hard for days off, because you know, if I'm gone, my boss is gonna be gone too. So he'll never know I wasn't there.
That's and you get to spend family time with him when you're not there.
Yes.
So what are your plans moving forward in drag racing? Are you where you want to be? Are you wanting to succeed more? You want to move classes, move up? What's your deal?
So right now, the classes that I'm running have been what I've always dreamt of doing. I'm right where I always dreamed of being. And ever since I was a little kid, I was always, I want to have the blower car, you know, go fast, whatever. And that's all I've done. Besides, you know, I bracket race here and there. And but basically, I mean, there's other things that excite me a little bit, but the way I put it to a few people is, if I had to give up what I'm doing now to go do something else, I couldn't do it, because I enjoy where I'm at too much. because we still get to go fast, but at the end of the day, we still get to go hang out, chill. I don't have to be super suit and tie about like anything. It's just a good time. It's fairly low maintenance. It's a blast. I love where I'm at. And for me, like if other chances come along for something, like I have a pro mod license, granted, what am I going to do with it? I've been 6'11" once, not qualifying for much. But no, I mean, if something came along, sure, I'll try it. But as of now, what I'm doing, I'm in love completely.
A lot of people that race in the Lucas Oil Sportsman Series feel the same way. And it's funny, as I'm getting used to this FloVerse, as we call it, where a lot of the people come from the dirt world or, circle track, late model stuff. They think that everybody's just working towards Top Fuel or working towards Pro Stock or whatever it may be. So what is it about, the importance of the sportsman racing and why you guys feel like that's kind of your home?
Well, my big thing is, a lot of the racing that goes on around the country is not professional racing. A lot of the racing, like right now in Vegas, they're having the flings. That's 670 something entries of guys that work 9 to 5, 5 days a week for the most part. And maybe they own a business, but it's things like that, I mean, that's more of my people. That's just where all my friends are at. And, really, I mean, it would be hard for drag racing to keep going without those people in it. So, I mean, that's just where I feel like I should be. And I mean, a lot of us feel the same way, but I mean, yeah, you have your people who are going for Top Fuel, Pro Stock, Pro Mod, whatever it may be. But most of us are beyond happy where we're at and absolutely love what we're doing. But I know I would never drive a funny car. I'm not man enough.
I am totally with you there.
Either funny car or like a Pro Stock bike, especially Nitro Harley. If you want me to have like a heart attack and just fall over dead, put me on a Nitro Harley, I will run away.
Yeah, those guys are insane. Like Larry McBride, I don't even know how fast he went. I was there and so astonished that I couldn't do it, but I am out. I am so out on all that.
I don't have the nuts. No way.
Says the guy with a pro mod license. I think that's on one of my no-fly lists too, because that stuff is just on the dime, out of your control, into the wall, crazy.
Yeah, I would do that in a day, but see if my deal is when the rear end is between your legs or when the motor is between your legs. Yeah, no. If I got to wear like a bulletproof vest, I'm out. But
yeah, let's put it in between my legs and then put a canopy around me so that it makes sure I blow up with it.
Right. But like in my car, I can't really see that much of the motor. I mean, sure, I can watch the drive shaft turn, but like, I just don't look down there. That's all you can do.
Eyes alive.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about with you, these little driver features are going to be pretty short and just give the world a little insight of who you are and what you do. How this came about this week was I had the Houston Raceway Park kind of memorial service, if you will. It was quite morbid, but amazing that we had Michael Holcomb on the show. RIP HRP. Man, the tower came down today. Did you see the video?
I saw the video of the last like left-hand side part of the tower that they were tearing down, and it just
it's like my heart shattered with it. And I've had some people be like, you're being dramatic. Listen, if you think I'm being dramatic, you don't get it and you're not attached to a racetrack, period.
No, it's a second home for most of y'all. Like I know, like I didn't grow up there like most of y'all did. But it's still pulling out the gates for the last time was like put me on medicine. It was not good.
Well, Division 4 is a really tight knit, and that's why it was so special. What happened there is you're a good guy from Division 4, so you've raced there a ton, and whether or not you were in diapers at that racetrack like I was or not, it still means something. So you went and did the unthinkable, right? Like you roll into the gates. It's an NHRA division race. You bring 2 cars there. Obviously, the goal is, and when you're speaking loosely, like, oh, I'm going to bring home 2 Wallies, but like, hello, you brought home 2 Wallies. Talk to me a little bit about that day and kind of how it progressed and when it clicked that you were literally going to be the king of HRP for the last time.
Well, so my deal was we showed up. It was like Thursday, midday, whatever. They were having the private test session. Well, anyway, long story short, it just rained for like a while. And they
Houston,
yeah. And they canceled. And it was the craziest thing. That weekend had like one of everything. They had a car go in the sand, they had a crash, they had rain, they had mud, like everything in one weekend. Oil downs, water seepage, like the works. And it went pretty well. I qualified number 1 in the door car, went like number, I don't know, like 5, 6, whatever in the dragster. Well, I was just making red, like, how you just feel like you're going through the rounds, not so much that you can't do no wrong, but whatever you do, your guy's just going to be a little bit worse. That's basically how my day went. For the most part. In the door car, got super lucky. But say in my dragster, like I was making marginal-ish runs a couple times, and the other ones were just whether I was 13, my guy was 00, and just either maybe just couldn't get there or whatever. And so in my door car though, first round had a bye run. Something happened with the beams. It shows up 594 on the scoreboard on a bye. And which if you don't know, for our classes for NHRA, you can go faster than 610, but you can't go faster than 6 flat. When you go faster than 6 flat, you get ejected from the race and you have to claim a 0 on your points total. So here I am sitting on a bye run, and Chris Arnold's guys come down. They're like, man, that's a great run. I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of a normal run, whatever, same deal. Chris goes, what did he go? And the guy goes 594. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. I'm like, ain't no way. And it was something happened with the beams. It showed like a 676 foot. Well, anyway, long story short, I'm just going through the rounds. I end up with a bye second round. James Ogden broke. Really sucks to see because I know he's been going there long time, probably longer than I've been alive. And I go like 643 out of nowhere. I've been going 620s all weekend. It just goes 643. Well, I don't know why. I decided to turn it way up for a third round with Chris Arnold.
And who was also like an H-Town native, been racing there, multi-generational.
Right. Mr. Chris is like the nicest guy in the world, but he beat me in the finals at the last national there last year. And I was like, man, I love Mr. Chris, but I got to do something about that. And I go down there and it shakes the tires at 100 foot. And I mean, typically when that happens, it's like done, especially in bracket racing, you just done. And it shakes tires at 100 foot. I think I was 10 on the tree, he was 13, and I pedal it and I'm like wall to wall, and I end up getting by him by 5,000. He was like 500, so he was 13 and 5 over. I was 10 and also 5 over, and basically just right there, my first thought was, Mama's going to be so mad at me for driving like that. But then I got out the car and Mr. Chris is like, well, it's your turn. It's your turn. Go win it. And I'm like, well, I can't tell you no. And when I made the last run in the finals, which was the last NHRA win light on that track. And at first, typical win type deal, excited for the trophy. Well, I make the turn off and they have all the fireworks going. And I'm sitting there, the guy's rolling my chutes up, and I'm looking at the fireworks. I'm like, that's the last pass I will ever make on this track. And
anyone will ever make.
Right. Well, I wasn't thinking that far. I was just thinking the last run I'll make. And then I get down there and they're like, man, did you hear Chris's words? Well, it was just a real sad deal. But it just worked out. It fell my way. I'm not afraid to say I had some lucky breaks. I was 11 total once and my guy was 19 total. And typically normally quarter mile racing, you don't see a whole lot of 19 total and better. So things like that, it just fell my way. And it's great to close out my time in Division 4 this year with a win like that. And then, you know, got to have a nice little winter circle picture.
Oh, you just happen to have those sitting right there.
I always keep the latest watches on the kitchen table for at least a few weeks or until the next ones come. It's just what we do. We just like to look at them.
And now it doesn't have to be lonely. He's got a buddy.
Thank God, right? I'm an only child, but he's not. So
Your dad, you sent me a video of you and your dad towing the cars like back up the racetrack. And that was just so cool. Is had it hit you at that point that not only was that your last time running, but you were actually like you're going down in HRP history, whether you like it or not. And had it hit you at that point, was it kind of emotional for you?
Well, so I partially felt bad because I really wanted to see all the Houston people win.
Yeah, you stole it from Chris Arnold, somebody I grew up with. I'm gonna give you shit.
I know. Deep down, I wanted the Houston people to win, but obviously, I'm not going to be mad about it. But no, I was going down there, and I'm just looking. I'm looking at the bleachers. I'm looking at the boards, and I'm seeing all the little grooves in the track as I'm going by, and I feel the bump in the lane one last time, and I'm like, this sucks. Like this got not fun really fast. And I mean, it was hard to even, you know, think. And then in the morning, I guess I can say it now. Mom's like, well, I kind of want one of the purple garbage cans because, you know, everything's purple. So I have one of the garbage cans in my shop now. And it just sucked leaving the gate the last time. And now I see, you know, the pictures of the tower being torn down where I literally just took winter circle pictures there like 2-ish weeks ago.
It's surreal.
Yeah, it's not something I really thought we would see. Like, I don't even think that Atlanta got tore down. I think it just shut down, right?
Yeah, I think it shut down and like wilderness started growing out of the towers, but they are wasting no time at HRP.
Yeah. Well, like at least, you know, I mean, down there in Atlanta, you can have like, I don't know, like a cult meeting over there. You know, a bunch of racers go down there, just mourn the loss. Well, like
that's funny number 3 on the day for you, by the way. Funny number 3.
I didn't even have any crown to begin this. And just, you know, but I mean, Houston, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like I saw one guy put a Facebook post out there of Mr. Craig that he went and took a cone from the track and like 2 pieces of concrete. He's like, I'm gonna frame them.
Yeah.
You know?
Michael Holcomb got me a couple of the grandstand numbers. He got my sister 30 and he got me 4310. And so that was pretty special, but it's really, really cool. don't take this the wrong way. The Houston National was poetic. So you got it there where there was 7 of us. I say us because Erica, same. Yeah. 7 of us from Houston that won that race. And I think that was kind of
it only made sense.
Justice there. And so for you to go ahead and double up on the way out, like that's just iconic. I don't know if it would have been such a big exclamation point if you won one of the classes, but since you did both of them, it's pretty cool.
Well, you know, I attended my first ever national event there when I was like 5, ran my first national event there when I was, I don't know, Tanner Gray, when they changed the rule for him to start running pro stock, whatever, like 17, whatever. I think I got in at 16 or 17 also. And that was my first national event was there too.
So you have roots there. So the H-Town gods rewarded you. One last thing before we let you go here. And something that's so unique with you, I think, is you're so young, but you've done so much in the sport already. And, you know, Gma over here. How do you even keep going? Not keep going in a sense of wanting to quit, but how do you keep raising the bar and bringing those goals up to keep succeeding when you've already done so much and it's such a young career?
So my thing is like, once I do one thing, I put so much pressure on myself to keep on doing it. So like say last year, I think we blew up like 7 or 8 motors, which I mean for a team like us is it's a lot of motors. Well, I mean, it's a lot of motors in general, but you know, for like a non-professional team, it's a lot of motors. We change motors at the racetrack in between rounds, you know, and but I mean, I love it so much that I mean, literally, if I had to leave to go racing tomorrow, I would put all 4 cars together, if I could take all of them at once, I would do it. I ran 3-4 entries in a day at a local race. I mean, I love it to absolutely no end. And my thing is now, like, after winning the world, winning jegs, all that stuff, it's like now I feel like it's a failure of a year if I don't win everything. And like it just kills me. But I know you can't win everything all the time, but I just love it so much. I wouldn't do anything else. Like, this is what I put all my time into. I don't draw or whatever, I just race. That's literally all I do. So I just love it too much. I love it too much to give up on it, even when I want to.
Well, that's what's cool about drag racing, and that's what I love about it. And I may not be some badass in the cockpit, but I give my guts to it too. And I love being able to bring light to guys and gals like you. And listen, your career is gonna go like this forever. You got a lot of years left. So, like I tell my sister, you can't appreciate those peaks without the valleys. So best of luck to you. I know now that the Floverse is going to get to know you. You're going to be sharing all your stuff. So put me on your press release list. And I hope that you get it done and you wear that HRP King crown very, very proudly.
Shoot, I do need to get a crown made. Or I need somebody to send me one. If somebody can send me one, that'd be great.
I think maybe we can figure out a way to make that happen.
Or Burger King crown, I'll do it.
Either or. I mean, I was thinking paper for sure.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate all the times I had over there at Baytown with all the friends I made, all of us just sitting there, and now we're all doing our own things, and definitely just gonna miss it. Already miss it. But
me too. It's something we'll all hold together. So it's special to me too. So thanks so much for coming on, and we'll see you out at the racetrack at some point, bud. You better come over to our pit and have a cocktail.
Or 2 or 3.
That'll do.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all. I appreciate it again. Thanks. And everybody have a nice day or weekend, whatever, at this point.
Or whenever this airs.
Whenever this happens to make it out there.
All right. Thanks, Darian.
Thank you.